Are you a woman of faith who is struggling to navigate your current season of life? Do you feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you? My name is Jill Pack. I'm a certified life coach and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I want you to know that no matter your season or circumstance, it is possible to create a more joyful life. And I would love to show you how. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Seasons of Joy podcast. This is episode number 47, entitled, There Is No Wagon. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to invite you, again, extend another invitation to join the Seasons of Joy community. This is a Facebook group where I go live twice a month. The first time in the month is a group call where I teach a workshop on a monthly topic. The second call of the month is open coaching. This is where you can ask questions about the monthly topic or really any topic for that matter, and you can also get coached. It's an opportunity to see what coaching looks like firsthand. And I share tips and tools to help you learn to manage your mind and to begin creating a life you love. So if you're interested, just go to the show notes and click on the link there to join. The upcoming workshop for February is Navigating Your Season with Love. In this workshop, I'm going to be talking about what love is and how we can navigate the season in our life, our circumstances in our life with more love, that we can feel more love. It's going to be a great workshop, so I'd love to see you over there. All right, today's topic, I'm so excited about it. There is no wagon. We've all heard the phrase falling off the wagon. We've probably all said it at one point in our life or another. Now, I've wanted to do a podcast on this topic because I think that this is a belief that does not serve us at all. So in early America, there were these wagons or these carts that were filled with water, and they would go around on the dirt roads and sprinkle water on the streets in order to keep the dust down. During the time of Prohibition in the early 19th century, men would often climb onto these wagons and take an oath that they would quit the alcohol and they would only drink water. So then the expression to be on the water cart or wagon became popular. And as time went on, it was shortened to on the wagon. So when a person broke their pledge and they started drinking alcohol again, it was said that they had fallen off the wagon. And over the years, falling off the wagon has basically come to mean that someone has gone back to a behavior that they're trying to change. Right? They've created a plan or a goal, and they just haven't been able to stick to it. And so they have this belief that they've failed. Now, in our modern times, right, I think we have lots of wagons. We have exercise wagons. We have financial wagons. We have diet wagons, or we have any wagon that is a behavior, right? A change of behavior that we want to create. You can fill in the blank. I've even talked about impact goals in January. So you may even say there are impact wagons. Did you know that 2/3 of people have quit their goals by the beginning of February every year? And the number one reason that they have failed is because they think that failure is not an option. But I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to say. There are no wagons. There are no wagons to fall off. So failure is not only an option, but it is actually necessary for us to accomplish our goals. So what if instead we replace the word learn for the word fail? The idea that we have fallen off some imaginary wagon reinforces the idea that we are not doing enough or being enough, or that there's something wrong with us that needs to be fixed. And we're holding on to this belief that perfection is even possible. Because if we were capable enough, smart enough, or good enough, we should be able to stay on the wagon, right? Wrong. The truth is, it doesn't somehow make us more valuable or worthy than we already are, right? When we reach our desired outcomes, that doesn't somehow make us more important. Our goals set the direction that we face, right? They chart a course, the first step towards what we want to create. And then opportunities that come at us, right? That offer us experience, growth, learning, and becoming on our journey. You could never set a goal and you would still be just as worthy and valuable and amazing as you are today. You can't change your worth. So staying on some imaginary wagon does not define you. Then why do we even set goals? And I've spoken to this before, and I want to say it again. For the experience of it, for the fun of it, for the opportunity of it, the opportunity to become a better version of ourselves. Imagine, if you will, your children when they were learning to walk. They didn't just decide to walk one day and then they suddenly walked. No, they tested the waters. In the beginning, they would use whatever they could find, right? Furniture, your legs, whatever they could get to pull themselves up. And then they would hold themselves up standing. And then they would start walking around the furniture. And then they would hold your hand or your finger as they practice walking across the floor, right? They would take a few steps on their own before falling to the ground. They didn't believe that failing wasn't an option. You didn't scold them or call them a failure because they fell down. You understood that falling was part of the journey, right? Falling and getting back up over and over again. And then pretty soon they were actually running, right? Falling or failing was actually necessary for them to really learn how to walk. Did we love them any more because they learned to walk? Of course not. We love them unconditionally through the process of learning, no matter how long it took. And honestly, I don't think our love would have changed for them if they never learned how to walk, right? I have a dear friend who I admire and love, and she raised a beautiful daughter who never learned to walk or talk. She was confined to a wheelchair for over 30 years. Now, did my friend love her daughter any less because she couldn't do the things the other children could do? Absolutely not. She didn't judge her. She didn't belittle her. She loved and cared for that beautiful soul with all of her heart while that child was on this earth. We need to love ourselves through our earthly journey. There is no wagon. There's no wagon to fall off of, so there's no wagon to climb back on. I read this recently somewhere and I just loved it. It said, when someone says they've fallen off the wagon, it isn't so much that they are admitting that they've done something wrong or that they're guilty. It's a request for punishment. Isn't that interesting to think about it? Think about when you've said it, right? And believing that we've done something wrong, and so then we've got to pay the price. But oftentimes the currency that we pay is one of shame. We review in our mind how we failed or how we've fallen short. We belittle our efforts. We speak down to ourselves. We have behaviors that we would never do towards anyone else. So let me repeat this. There is no wagon. There's only living. Every day we live. And some days our goals go according to plan and other days they don't. And it's as simple as that. Some days you care for yourself better than other days. Some days you do things a certain way. Some days you do it a different way. We're all living and having this human experience, doing the best we can with what we know and what we have. We pick ourselves up and we continue living. One way I continually remind myself of this is to give myself a high five every day. Now, you may have heard of it. This is something that Mel Robbins teaches in her book, The High Five Habit. And she shares the science in her book about the positive effects of giving ourselves high fives. So when we give ourselves high fives, we're actually doing it, right, as a result of something positive happening, like winning a game, right, scoring a goal, doing something amazing or that we think is amazing, right? And we give each other a high five. Well, with this repeated pattern of this positive reinforcement, this positive association, the brain releases endorphins that cause us to feel good when we do the act of high-fiving, right? We lift our arm and we do the high five. That's it. That's what Mel Robbins teaches us to do for ourselves. At some point in our day, we look ourselves in the mirror, we look into our eyes, and we really see ourselves for who we are, right? And we bring our hand up to the mirror and we give ourselves a high five. No words even need to be spoken, but you can. But this high five sends a message to us. It sends a message to you, and it says this: I see you. You've got this. I believe in you. And by doing this, we can actually rewire our brains on how we think of ourselves. We can create courage and confidence within ourselves, right? To keep going, to keep trying from a place of love and empowerment instead of shame, and instead of looking outside of ourselves for some validation. It sounds too simple, right? This little high five habit. But I love how Mel Robbins talks about this, and I want to share a quote from her. It says this, quote, "Feeling supported and loved is the most motivating force on the planet," unquote. Isn't that so true? And I've said this over and over. Love is a motivator, right? Shame just does not create motivation. The resistance to ourselves doesn't create motivations. And then she goes on to compare the feeling that happens when a marathon runner is getting a high five from a spectator. And she says, quote, "What keeps them going is knowing that they're being celebrated and cheered for. It affirms and fulfills the deepest need, right? Our deepest need, which is to be seen, heard, and celebrated. A high five is a transfer of energy. When times get hard, developing habits of celebrating and cheering for yourself can be huge. It's impossible to think, I suck, when you give one to yourself," unquote. I love that, right? When we are consistently trying to show love and feel love towards ourselves, we can't think we suck. So I try to do this one simple habit every day. I really have come to believe that life is not meant to be perfect. It never was. And we are not meant to be perfect in this life. Life is a classroom where we are meant to learn and to grow and to become. And this includes falling down, making mistakes, and messing up. But it also includes getting back up, cheering each other on, including ourselves, right, as fellow travelers on this earthly journey. We all have one life we're living, and we get to choose how we experience. There is no wagon. There is only life. Thank you for listening, and have a joyful week. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you hear, I would love it if you would share it with your friends and family and leave me a rating and review. If you'd like to learn more about what life coaching is, please schedule a free discovery call with me where we can work together through something that's causing you a problem. Just go to my website, seasons-coaching.com, and you can also find information about my Seasons of Joy one-on-one coaching program and my Seasons of Joy community. Have a joyful week, and I'll see you next time.